Ever wonder how we keep our hairy pigs cool during the summer? Stick around and find out. What's going on, everyone? Jason with Wandering Grace Farm. Today I'm down here with the pigs working on some wallows. We have these Mangalitsa pigs, which are a hairy breed, a lard breed. And pigs in general, from my understanding, they don't necessarily sweat, so they need these wallows to get in during the hot summer months to cool off. The Mangalitsa, they have hair on them, fur on them, and so they're even worse. They get even more hotter, They get hotter, I guess would be the word. So the boys have a nice big one, big wallow that both of them share, but the girls only have the small one that we need to make a little bit bigger. So I'll show you what we're dealing with. So here's the boys right here. We didn't necessarily place this on our own. Whenever it rains, the pigs make their own wallows, and so we've just used what they've created. And so they've created this big one that we just keep filling up. You know, we haven't had rain, and I don't remember last time we had a good measurable amount of rain, but we keep filling this up for them, and it seems to work. It's big enough for the two of them to get in and share. There's the two right there. The only downside with this one is it's next to the shelter, and so what they do is they start nosing and rooting down along the sides, and it gets closer and closer to the shelter. So eventually we'll probably have to move this one, relocate this one somewhere over here in the middle probably, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. So this is the boys' wallow. This is the girls' wallow. So we did have two for these girls. They're a little chatty today. We did have two for these girls. We have this one, which is the original one. Again, they created it themselves, and we just keep filling it in. And then we have this one over here that we created. Get a shadow. Which we were filling up, but as you can see, like I said with the boys, they start rooting around the edges, start rooting around the sides. And so they keep getting closer and closer to the fence, which is okay, but eventually they're going to root underneath the fence, which we don't want. And they've already started to tear away some of the bottom right there, as you can see. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to try to increase the size of this one if I can get in the ground with the shovel. But we're going to try to increase the size of this one, probably over here towards the left, and see if we can make this thing a little bit bigger so they don't have to share this small one. It's not real deep either. The boys was pretty deep, but the girls, it's pretty shallow. So two of them to share, it's a little too much, but we'll see what we can do today. As you can see, Anna's already begun to make herself at home in this dugout portion that I did. This is what they do, is they sit there and they root along the edges for whatever reason. What I've seen in the past is they'll do that because they're trying to smooth out a spot, or dig out a spot to where they can lay down, have their head up. At some point, she'll probably lay down here in a minute. There you go, just like that. not quite comfortable yet. The next up is to fill this up with water. So I left these two right here, the original complete wallow that they did themselves. I touched up a little bit right here on the edge, just dug it out a little bit, get a little bit deeper. Same thing on the other side. And then I dug out this hole right here. It's not real big, but as you can see, they'll enlarge it to their liking, make it to whatever they want it to be. But it's a start. So this one's a little bit deeper. As you can see, this one's a little shallow, which is okay, but I like them to be a little bit deeper, give them like a cool pool to swim in, to hang out in during the hot days. So next up is to fill them up. So I just got done filling it up as much as I'm going to do right now. Tonight when we come down to feed, we'll add more water to it. One thing that we found is anytime you pick a new spot, a dry spot, what it'll do is it'll take a while before it seals up on the bottom. So this will probably go down quite a bit during the day, especially since it's supposed to be hot today. But after a while, whatever happens to the sand, we got real sandy soil over here in Oklahoma. And so after it sits for a while and you keep filling up, eventually it seals up pretty good. So water stays for the most part during the heat of the day. We usually fill them up at night, like I said, whenever we come down to feed. But it's a lot better than it was, a lot bigger than it was. You know, they still have this area over here, which is pretty shallow, but then you have this area, which is a little bit deeper, and as you saw, pigs are already good with it. They're happy with it. So they'll continue to work it and make it what they want, make it how they think it should be, and hopefully they don't get closer to the fence. Well, there you have it. We were able to successfully create or enlarge one of the wallows for these girls. Filled up with water, and they immediately started getting in there and started making it their own. So I think it was a success. It's a lot better than what they had. It was real shallow where we put it. It just made it a little bit bigger, made it deeper, and so it should be good for them. It's right in the middle, so they shouldn't have any issues going towards the fence. If they do, then we got to rethink things probably, but that shouldn't be an issue. Like I said earlier, these pigs in general, you know, from my understanding, they don't sweat, so the summers can be kind of tough on them. So you need to give them wallows for them to get in and cool off during these hot summer days. And these mangalitsa's are no different, especially since they have the coating on them. They thin it out during the summer months. During the winter, they double it up, it seems like, and it's super thick. But in the springtime, they start losing it. You'll be petting them, and your hand's just covered with hair. But they lose it. They still have some, but it's even tougher for them to get cool. So we try to do a good job of keeping their wallows filled, keeping water available. And it seems to be all right. They're a pretty hardy breed. They're good in the winter time because of the coat. They're good in the summertime. If you keep them stocked with wallows, keep the wallows full. But we're happy with them so far. And it's been hot here the last few weeks. I think we're about 101 yesterday, 105 day before, I think. So we're on the tail end of summer, we hope, but we still have to take care of these pigs and make sure these wallows are filled up. So hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you got a glimpse of what it takes to keep these pigs cool. And thanks for watching. Bye.